Good morning, everybody. So we just have a couple of sketches to do this morning. I actually picked up a couple of commissions overnight, so that's what we're going to do today. We'll be on for maybe just a couple of hours. Just get this. We might do the Patreon cards, um, if I if time allows, basically. So come hang out with me. All right, everything looks good. Okay. Actually, I how do I always forget this? I forget this every single time. I forget to start up the TikTok stream. But the TikTok stream works off of a they have their own launcher, their own studio for this. So while we wait for the TikTok stream to kick up, because we're streaming on like every platform other than Instagram, because Instagram's being a little hoe right now. While we wait for the TikTok stream to kick up, just want to say hello to everyone. Oh, there you go. It's up. It's up. All right, cool. Hey, how's it going, everyone? Puff up her cheeks a little bit more. So I believe we'll be using a purple multi-liner or a violet multi-liner for this, just to change up the look a little bit. Hey, I appreciate that. How's it going in the TikTok chat? My bad. We're live streaming across a bunch of platforms, so if I don't see or catch you right away, because I'm trying to monitor a bunch of streams at once. But appreciate that follow. So we are doing the rough line art right now, and then after I do the rough line art, which we're using a lavender and a sepia ink pen for the line art, and then we'll erase all the pencil draft marks, and then I'll go in with the alcohol ink. So we'll color it there, and then once that's done, I will probably go back over with the multi-liners again to kind of clean up the line art. So right now it's just like a little flat draft lines right now. Oops. In the Twitch chat, thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. Hey, what's going on? Oh, you're here to collect. Oh, wait. As in, you're here to turn them in, or you're here to just collect more? But yeah, how's it been? Yeah, I'm doing well. Uh, it's been a very busy couple of months. I I've taken the last like 2 days to kind of do some stuff for myself, kind of clean up the house. Oh, thank you for the follow up in the TikTok chat, by the way. Yeah, it was nice to kind of do my own thing for like 2 days, um, because I had caught up on all my work at the time, and now I picked up a couple of more commissions, so um, I'm gonna be working on that today, and then I have like the Patreon card. So I think today I'm gonna spend doing more work, and then once I'm done here, I'll spend the rest of the weekend kind of doing my own artwork, video editing, and gotta clean up the house because I haven't cleaned it in like 2 months. Oh. So you just live in the capitalism dream. Someone sent you a someone sent you an oil painting they did. You're like, oil painting, huh? Yeah, yeah. Go, just leave it on. Collect your points. I appreciate it. Oh yeah, I haven't played Borderlands 4 yet. I actually have to. The reason I haven't, I know you're gonna go, but the reason I haven't started playing Borderlands 4 is because I want to play that game with my wife, and with how much work I have, it's just like I don't want to start. I don't even want to touch that game yet. Because we know once we start, it's a wrap. You know, like I think I'm not gonna touch Borderlands until after TwitchCon. Oh, speaking of which, I think today is the last day I have a free code for Borderlands that came with my graphics card. So I have to. I was gonna use that code for my wife, but she needs like a certain she needs like a 50 series card in order to install it. So I have to when we're done with the stream, I have to pop my graphics card out of my computer, install it into hers so that we could use the code, and then I'll put that one back in my computer. Because it won't let me claim it on her system because she doesn't have a 50 series card. Anyway, it's this whole thing that I'm gonna have to do when we're done here. No, thank you for reminding me. By the way, I think today's the last day I could claim it too. So, wow, I would have messed that all up. I think I'll be using black ink on the eye area. over in the TikTok chat. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, my bad if it takes me a second to get to. Yeah, thanks for the follow. Also, my bad if it takes a second to get to you. I'm multi-streaming on like a bunch of platforms, so I have to kind of scan all the chats. So if it takes me a second to get to a comment or something, just, yeah. Anyway, I appreciate it. Thank you. Okay. So now that we have the base line art down, this is just like the quick draft line art. We'll erase all the undersketching and then we'll go in with my inks, alcohol inks. And then after we do the inks, we'll go in with another pass on the line art to kind of clean up this line art. It's a little flat and a little messy. My bad if we get a little camera shake. Hope everyone's having a good Saturday. Or, is it Saturday? Yeah. Hope everyone's having a good day. So once we clean up these pencil draft lines, we're going to go in with the alcohol inks. Paint it up a little bit. And then when that's all done, we'll do a final pass with the multi-liners to clean up the line art. So right now this is just kind of the draft line art. It's like looking a little flat. There's no line weight applied anywhere. The reason I like to do that is because I find it's easier to apply the line weight once you've got your shadows in through the coloring, the painting. So, because the shadows will dictate for the most part where the line weight is, like the heavier line weight will be. So, I mean, like if you plan it out, it shouldn't be a big deal. But anyway, so we'll do the eyes first. So, character has teal eyes. We'll have the light source come from. We'll have the light source come from this way, like right here. So the highlight will catch about. Highlight will catch about right here. Let's go with probably a cool gray for the eyes. Go cool gray 2 and then neutral gray 0. Then take the multi-liner and just put in the details. I think the iris on the left side, the character's right side, or our view from the left, the character's right, needs to be expanded out a little bit more. So we'll go ahead and do that. And then we won't darken up the outside of the eyes until after we finish the skins. And then once the ink dries on the irises, we'll go back in with a darker teal and kind of add some more little details to it. But so the highlight will catch on the nose right here. And we're going to exaggerate. We'll catch it on the cheek a little bit right here too. Probably bits at the chin. Right there. Definitely the lip right here. Probably not on the nostril. That'd be like too much. And I know I could already see I want to extend this eyebrow in a little bit, but we'll do that after we do the coloring. Um, we could have the highlight catch a bit of the ear as well, about up here. And that should be it. Okay, so I'm using it's E00, which is called, it's literally called skin white. That's what it's called, skin white. The ink that's in here is actually E000 triple zero, which is a really, really light. And then I'll be doing like a little bit of blush and some light subsurface scattering on the nose with this RV00, which is like a, what's it called? Water lily. That's what the color is called. But uh, both of these are really, really light colors. And then I will be using a really, really light lavender to apply shadows to the skin. But anyway, you'll see when we get to it. But so right now, just kind of applying an even coat of this skin white. Like, even though the lips are not going to be this skin white color, because the that water lily color that I'm holding right here, I'm going to use that for like subsurface scattering and blush, and probably the lips too. Um, that can go like over the this. It's hard to put this over this, but you could apply this over this. So we'll probably do like a really light coat of this on the forehead and the where the nose is, like the T-zone, because that like protrudes outwards, so that catches a lot of light right there. So we'll do like a lighter coat right there. Also, that's where we're gonna be blending in the water lily color. I don't want to go with a like a pink or orange color that's too aggressive, which is what you would normally apply on the nose, because the nose catches a lot of light because it's the part that protrudes the most, so it catches a lot of light. So when you're doing like a realistic painting, you'll often use an orange when you're coloring the nose. Like if you're doing like oil painting or something. But we're not gonna do that because we're not because this still needs to look like kind of anime-ish. I just like applying a little bit of blush to the skin, um, but we still want it to look anime-ish. And we don't want this to look hyper realistic because this is gonna look weird. It's gonna has that what do you call it? The uncanny valley look if you go too far. Hold on, my music just ended. Find another album to listen to. That was Madion's Adventure. Welcome everybody across all the uh-oh. Oh, Tiago, what's up? Oh, YouTube said stop playing that copyright music. All right, all right. How dare you? So normally if a character is using like a lipstick, uh, I'll pick a bit of a more aggressive, like I mentioned, pink or orange color for the lips. Um, but I think this, I don't know anything about this character because this is a commission, but she looks pretty young. So I think we're gonna keep the lips as is, like this. Have a little highlight catch the bottom lip, and then I'm gonna go in with a. I'll be going in with a lavender to shade the skin. Um, but yeah, we're not. I don't think I'm gonna push it too far in regards to like accentuating the. Oh, my dog is whining. What? What? You gotta wait. Yeah. Dog is super asleep this whole time, and then with the moment I start streaming, she's like, "Hey, give me attention." I believe this will be BV. Is this too go? That's way too dark. do light. I think we could just get away with a warm gray for shading the skin instead of picking a lavender. Yeah, I think a warm gray will work. So this is C3, which is, excuse me, not warm gray. This is a cool gray, C3. Actually, we'd probably be jumping between C3 and C1. Yeah, that's it. That's the right colors. Okay, well, all right, everyone. So, my dog is whining, so she obviously needs to go out, or maybe she's hungry again. All I know is we're gonna have to take a couple-minute break while I take care of the pooch. We've been on for what, an hour and a half now? Yeah, about an hour. So we may as well take a little break, right? I appreciate everyone for hanging out. Give me like 5 or 10 minutes. We'll come right back. But I do need to take care of Dog right now. Because if she's hungry, I'm not going to let her go hungry. I'm going to take care of her. You know what I'm saying? Then we'll come back, finish this up. Okay, we are back. Just had to take the dog out really quick. My bad. But hey, we can get back on this, okay? I'm gonna put my glasses. Can't see without my glasses. So these shadows we won't blend in because these are just cast shadows from the hair. Okay, we're gonna do like a rim light on this side of the cheek. So I'll go ahead and this with a bit of a darker color. Excuse me, with the C3. We'll blend it in right here with a C0. Was a C1? C1. And then once that dries, this area right here, I have like probably a neutral 0, so like a 0, 0, 0, 0 right here. We'll make like a rim light. Same thing with that right there. No, I guess there wouldn't be a rim light there on the neck. Um, just like I said, I want to expand the eyebrows a little bit. I think this needs to be pulled over a little higher, a little lower here. Yeah. I appreciate the follows, everybody. Thank you. Um, we can do the hair now. I was gonna use all of these for the hair, but I honestly think we could just use cool grays. We don't need to use these teal colors. I think just flat cool grays should work. So we're actually gonna discard all this right here. Just use C3, C1. Do I have C3? C3, C1. If that's the only refill for C1 I have, I kind of don't want to use it if I'm running low. Go back to the old plan. Oh, yeah. So in regards to highlights, we'll probably have the highlights just catch right here. Like that. Right here. Oh, my dog is whining. My wife is probably awake. My dog has this weird, like, keen sense knowing when my wife is awake. Okay, so who is this? BB000? Nah, that's too dark. We don't want to use that one. Yeah, it's a bit too dark. We don't want to use this. We'll stay away from this one. We won't go too over elaborate on the hair. I think this whole thing is just like, this whole drawing is basically like the definition of let's not push it too far. It'd be really easy to get caught up on doing like excessive details when you don't need it. Be like, oh, I could use 4 different colors for the hair. You know, like, you can get the job done with these 2 markers right here. It'll get the point across. The client won't notice the difference. And it won't even really make a difference in the so like when I say multiple colors, like you could pick, we have 2 colors right now. You could pick a 3rd color to put like along where the light is catching the hair to give like a subsurface scattering kind of light, like where the light is dissipating to the hair. So you'd pick like a high saturated color, like probably this one right here. Like you could do that. But it's just like so unnecessary. Unless you're going for like something super realistic. Or if you were going to make if you were making a piece that you were going to turn into like a long-term print that you were going to sell or something, maybe. For a quick commission like this, we don't need to be doing all that crazy subsurface scattering shit. So I'm using BV20, which is a dull lavender for the hair. For the dress part, that's basically a white. I'll be using probably just a neutral gray for that. Let's refill this. Hold on, I gotta go check on my wife. I think she's awake, so give me another like 2 minutes. God dang it. Okay, well, there you go. that neutral 0 for the rim light here. Let's... Forgot to color that part of the hair. And then... Let's see. Oh, that's obviously dead. That's no good. Right, let's refill some inks. Oh, this lid is damaged. That's why it's dry. That sucks. We'll just have to do this at the very end. That sucks. I think that's it for that. BB20 is done. This is done. I believe we're done with the skin tones. Put that away. That's done. I'm done with the blush as well, so we put that away. Actually, I think all we have left, we'll be using this to shade this over here. Done with that. So I think we just have the white area, which we'll just use a neutral gray for that. So we'll probably just do a single, just an N2. Like we won't, yeah, I'm not going to do like multiple colors for it, just be a single neutral gray, and then we should do the gold sections It's a little too similar to the skin. Okay. We'll do the gold sections first. So I used YR23, and then this is called Yellowish Shade. Addy, what's up? Over in the Twitch chat. Yeah, I'm monitoring. I'm currently monitoring like 6 chats right now. So if it takes me forever, it takes me a while to see your comment. My bad. How you doing? Have I considered making comics? I have. I actually have some stories that I've drafted out. Of course, everyone has stories they've drafted out, but I just don't have time. Like I'm just constantly, if I'm either at a convention or working on a other like other projects like let me rephrase that, client projects. So I'm either at conventions or working on bigger client projects, or I have to kind of keep up with, like, this is a commission right now I got like last night. So I'm just kind of always trying to keep up with work. I just uh, don't have time to commit to a comic, though that would be amazing. Like that sounds like a lot of fun. I just don't have the time for it. I have been slowly working on kind of my own project over the past, God knows, like, I don't know how long now. Long, way too long. I've been working on my own personal project, um, and they're just illustrations. They're just paintings. I don't have the time to commit to a comic. Like if I decided to put all my free time into a comic, it would take me like 6 years to finish one, just because like that's how little like leeway time I have. But Yes, I've thought about it. I've thought about it extensively. Yes. Art Fuse, what's up? Over in the Twitch chat. What's a rare sight? Me being on the platform? What? No, I'm on Twitch. I think of all the platforms to stream on, Twitch is the one I'm on the most because it's like feels like it's been forever. It has been forever. I'm not gonna lie. You got me on that one. Yeah, it's been. Yeah, you got me on that one. Yeah, it's been a while. I've just been kind of sporadically streaming whenever I have a chance to. Um, I've been doing well. Just been very very busy. Very 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 busy. I just finished a bunch of big client work, um, and now I have it's all NDA stuff. I just finished a bunch of that, and now I have the next wave of that coming in that I have to finish by like fourth quarter. I have to prep for TwitchCon in like less than 2 weeks, um, and this is just a private commission that I wanted to knock out today. But yeah, overall I've been very good, very busy. Yes, I know. That's why I keep saying I'm just like it could be worse. Could have no business. How about you? How's everything? But yes, you are right. I haven't been consistently streaming like at all. But right now, I'm multi-platform streaming right now, so we're streaming to everything right now. So Twitch is acting funky. Oh, Black Mist, what's up? Why? No, 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 no. I didn't take it like to heart. I'm just saying like you are right because I haven't been streaming. No, I didn't take it bad. I was just like, oh, someone else got me. Because every time somebody catches me, they're like, dude, have you been streaming? I haven't seen you in a while. And I'm just like, yeah, I haven't been here in a while. No, Black Miss, why? What's up? No, you're talking about Twitch is acting funky. In what way? Oh, got the sub. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. Yeah, you see, Black Mist, I'm trying to stay ahead of all my commissions. Now that I've like caught up, now I'm gonna be able to stay on top of any commissions. You know what I mean? So no more long waits, none of that stuff. It's all just you know. Now that I've like caught up, we'll do the quicker turnarounds. Say hi to everyone in the TikTok chat. Oh, hopefully that's just a Twitch thing and not a my stream thing. If the stream is steady for everyone else, trying to switch careers to full time art and comic creation, you're a living inspiration. Hey, I appreciate that. So what do you if you don't mind me picking your brain, what are you doing like right now? What are you planning to ooh, a hype train? What starts a hype train? Well, I did after that gauntlet of evil commissions deserve a break. Well, I did take like 2 days to kind of hang out with the family and kind of clean up the office and the house and all that. But yeah. So all right. So you were saying you were interested in going full time art. What's going on right now? Like, what do you have? Um, are you working a job right now? Yeah, my general recommendation for people who are trying to get into the art field as full time these days is because the art field's a little. It's in a really weird. It's in like a transitional period right now, where a lot of AI is taking a lot of jobs. Um, People in general, at least stateside, don't really have a lot of dinero, so it's a little hard um, to really push high end traditional commissions unless you're like really popular already. So I always tell people, if you have a job, you should stay mentally full time art, but literally physically part time art. Keep the job, and then because the moment art becomes your job, then oh, like what we were talking about earlier, the moment art becomes your job, you basically lose the opportunity to be like creatively free. You know what I mean? Like if I was working a 9 to 5 job, I would not have to take 80 commissions over the summer, right? I wouldn't have to sign a bunch of NDA contracts and work on video game art. I would just go to work, clock in, that money, supports everything. You clock out of that job, and then you clock in to your art, and then you're just free to kind of do whatever you want. Like you were talking about earlier, a comic. If I was working, I told you I didn't have time to like make a comic, or I barely have time to like video edit or do like my personal art. That's a result of me being a full time artist. So I always tell people, being a full time artist is great once you get it like established. You got a big following, uh, you know. Um, but I think lately I've been a lot more in favor of you have a full time job that will cover all of your art endeavors so that you don't have to burden your art with the business, the financials. You can just be an artist. And then that will actually net you more creative time than being a full time artist, as weird as that sounds. Um, Overall net time to be creative and try new things will actually be greater having a full time like day job. Plus, the day job comes with things like health insurance and all that kind of stuff. All that good stuff. So that's kind of where, yeah, financial independence equals creative freedom. Yes. So the moment you become a full time artist, like a lot of people, I mean, it's a dope job, but you do lose all if unless you're like one of those. artists who pop off really quickly online, and they just have a ton of followers, and like no matter what you post, you're always going to make sales, and it's, you know, like you have such a huge following that they'll support anything you do. That's like the straight up 1% of artists, you know, like the Kellogg's Loops, the the raw straws. That's cool, but you can't rely on that to happen. So if you have a job, I always recommend to people who are looking to go full time art, calm the fuck down. Just that's what I tell people. Just calm the fuck down. But I think you will be much better off on a creative level to keep that side, to keep that job, and then to work on your art in your own time. You will be a much better artist for it. You're gonna have much more time to study, much more creative free time. You'll be able to work on a comic. If there's some art books you want to read, you're gonna be able to like clock out of your day job, come home, you can just sit down, read your art book, watch your art videos, and be holden to nobody. You know, that's where I'm at. Software engineers trying strategically transition. Okay. Yeah, I wish EXO was in the chat right now. Yeah, I wish EXO was in the chat right now because he's in, without giving out too much information, he's in like a financial field, right? He like that's the field he works in, and he's been wanting to transition over to full time art about 6 years now. And when we first got started talking about it, I told him the same thing back then as I'm saying now. I'm just like, dude, why don't you calm the fuck down? But because he's had that other job, he's made huge strides in, because he likes VTubers, so he's made huge strides in being able to focus all his energy on like making picking specific clients in that field, which has really built him a reputation because that's the field he wants to do art in. So he doesn't have to do a bunch of conventions and take a bunch of like bullshit commission work. He could just be like, all right, I just want to work with some of these with certain clients, and I have the freedom to say no to other ones. So for the sake of his art, him not going full time has actually sped up his process, if that makes sense. So yeah, so whatever transition you're doing, strategically take your time. But that's good. Software. Well, I don't have any computer friends or anything, so I don't have anyone. I don't have anyone to share. I just picked up a 5080 Founders Edition like a month ago, and I don't have any friends that I could talk to about because none of my friends are into computers. So I was just like, you know how that is. So I like tell my wife, "Oh yeah, look at this," and she's like, "Uh huh, that's nice." So I'm sharing it here because I got no one else to talk to about. Yeah. But there is always a cost. Living a double life like that means potential burnout and loss of social life. Yes. Oh, you know what? That's actually a good point that I didn't even think about. If you have a social life, because I don't have a social life. That's never been an issue for me because I don't have like a social life. I don't have a personal life. Um, that is definitely something that I straight up just overlooked. So that's my bad. But yes, there's going to be the cost of that. the double life. Yeah, I mean, nothing's ever going to be perfect. It's just in my experience from what I've seen and what I've experienced, if I had to choose between trying to juggle, let's say a triple life, because you have personal life, which is friends and family, dog, wife, husband. You have that, the art, and then the day job. I think juggling these three will still yield you more time than being a full time artist. Because being a full time artist is fucking insane. Like, everything. Like you see these people on social media who are like entrepreneurs or they run their own business and they just do like drop shipping or whatever the fuck they do. Like, you have to do everything that they do, but you have to create and pay to manufacture the stuff. So it's like whatever that they're doing, these people that you see, who run their own business, who like flip, but they flip. Whatever, people who try and flip stuff. People who are running like a business, you have to do everything that they do, plus actually make the product, right? And then, yeah, and then you're in a field where, said it sounds like hell, eradicate all artists. Yeah, sure. Yeah, so I still think the whole thing about clocking into work, uh, using that double life, that extra whatever free time you have to work on your own stuff, and then trying to manage some social life, I still think yields more creative time because when you're freelance and you're just trying to get gigs, to make money, pay bills, and kind of grow your clientele, you're essentially a gun for hire, and you are just doing other people's work, kind of like nonstop, which is still a good job. That's still sweet, but if that's I have to let me rephrase it. Like, if that's what you're looking into, if like you're happy with that, you want to work for someone's comic or something like that, then that's totally cool. I don't want to be doing that forever. I want to work on my own stuff. But yeah, my bad. I think I framed that wrong. I want to reframe that where if I say, if you're cool, you want to work for a company, and you're cool doing the studio thing, oh dude, then yeah, go full time. Oh, you could hella do it then. Yeah, I think in my brain I'm so up my own butt about wanting to do my own original stuff that I let that kind of sway my opinion. So my bad. I didn't frame that correctly. So if we reframe it as in you want to go full time, but you're also down to like work at like a studio, you know, Riot or something. Oh, dude, yeah, hella go full time. We need tremendous patience and not comparing yourself to others. I actually pursued art seriously. Whoops, hold on. The chat scrolled up. It got blocked away. Let me see. All right, I have to scroll back up. All right. I actually pursued art seriously while studying computer science in college. Then you looked at everyone else being normal and happy, kind of quit and took a break. That's fine. Take a break. There's no time limit. I mean, we all literally have a time limit, but we just don't think about that. But hey man, there's nothing wrong with that. Just take a break, go enjoy, see what other parts, what other things life has to offer, right? Plus, I mean, your art might be better for it now that you're pursuing it when you're a little bit older, a little bit more wise. I always say this: if I pursued art when I was like 18, I'd have fucked it all up because I was a dumbass back then. Arguably, still am, but I was so irresponsible, you know, that had I tried to pursue art before I had life experience, wouldn't have gone well. So, hey, took a break, probably for the best. Um, oh, it's most meaningful to you also. Every time I give advice, I try to remember that I've been in the field for a long time. So, like, I am pretty rough around the edges these days. Not quite like jaded, but I've experienced a lot in the field, and I try to remember what it's like for people who are not in the field. So Because if I were to give out like, because sometimes I'm like really grumpy about stuff. So I try when I try to give advice, I try not to be like, man, don't fucking fuck everyone, don't do this. I try not to do that. I try to think from like a more objective point of view. So my bad. Uh, Hold on. Don't work your passions, work to fund your passions. Um, I mean, there's that argument too. Like I used to love working on cars, and then when I did that for a living, I hated working on cars. Just to ruin it. But I wouldn't say that working even though I'm full time as an artist and I've had to do conventions and I pick up commissions that or big projects that maybe sometimes I'm not interested in. Despite all that, I still really enjoy this. So I think there's a big difference. Like maybe I didn't enjoy cars as much as I thought because when I turned that into my career when I was in my 20s, I ended up hating cars. Now I have this. I've been an artist for like 12 years now, and I've done so much work that I don't care for that's art related, but I still really love this. So I mean, everyone's going to be different though. Anyway, for those who are wanting to go full time, it's good to get advice from jaded people. Um, but ultimately, it's that thing where you're not going to know how you're going to enjoy it until you're actually out in the field. I think when I give advice, I always just try to be extra cautious because it is a volatile, potentially volatile field. So I think I just don't like seeing people kind of struggle. That's why my default is to just always be like, just keep your job, be careful. I think that's where a majority of my stuff comes from, because I've seen it. I lived it. Like especially during COVID, I saw a bunch of my friends didn't make it, man. Didn't make to this day. Didn't make it. Um, that was like an exceptional situation, but I mean it happened. There's nothing to say something like that can't happen again. So I think when I give advice, I'm always just so cautious. I'm just like, all right, man, just be careful. I don't want to see you struggle. Like that's where I come from. Uh, that's always where I come from. I'm just so scared to see somebody like who has a job and pursue art and then struggle. I just don't like seeing people struggle. So that's why I'm just like careful, man. So, says you must be proud of yourself. Like looking back, you really took charge and made a big career change and did something for yourself. Yeah, I was crazy back then. I was fearless back then. It's because I didn't have anything to lose. I was just like, I was in my mid 20s, and I was in my mid 20s, and I was like, look, man, we got to do this. We got to do this now. But that like, um, dang it, what's with this pen? This is way oversaturated. This is not the right pen to use here. Well, I appreciate you following along for that long. It's been a journey for sure. It's been like an obscene amount of work, but I've enjoyed it. Yeah. Yeah, like going back to that thing where we talked about um, when I used to work as a mechanic. Um, there's no amount of there's like no amount of work that's involved with being an artist that's worse than having to clock in and work on cars for me. Anyway, that's just me. Well, you know what, Eddie, you're not like so. Are you more interested, at least like at the current moment? We can't say forever, but in the current moment, are you more interested in working for like a Riot? I use Riot a lot because they hire, they're good about hiring like independent artists, but like a studio, is that something that you're kind of eyeballing, or are you more eyeball leaning towards the whole freelance gig? Like which of those appeal more to you? All right, so we'll use a neutral gray. We'll use a neutral gray for this area here. I think, is N2 going to be too dark? N2 is way too dark. We'll go ahead and switch over to a N0, neutral gray 0. Okay, let's refill this. That will be the last color, and then afterwards I'll go over it with some. We'll go over it with some. Clean up the line art. Whoops. We'll clean up the line art, and then that'll be it. Have done freelance before for realistic portraits for people who that wasn't really fulfilling. Think I value creative freedom and your own pace. Okay, okay. So we want the same thing. Okay. Therefore, my original opinion or my original uh, advice stands. Yeah. Okay. So remember how I said I didn't really have a social life in my 20s? I kind of take that back. Um, when I was traveling for the conventions, the only way I'd be able to like blow off steam was, I was flying to a lot of places, and I would just go to like a nightclub, like usually on Saturday night. You know, like I didn't know anybody there, but I would just find a musician or a DJ that I liked. Once or twice a month when I'm away for a convention. That's how I would do it. Like just kind of like, like relax my brain a bit while I mean, I'd be out on the road anyway, so it was kind of fun to explore new places. So that's kind of how I got my socializing in. But other than that, I didn't have like a social life. Like if I was going to a convention in Las Vegas, I'd try and hit up some of my buddies who I hadn't seen in like 5 or 6 months. Like, hey man, I want to be in Vegas for the weekend for this convention. Just come through. We'll hang out when I get off, when I clock out of work. Also, I'm actually unfamiliar with these characters, so I wouldn't know who would win. This is a commission. I'm super unfamiliar with these characters, so I can't answer that. But yeah, so Addy says, I have also tried the influencer like artists to get money through fame. Uh, it's not fulfilling. I'm gonna tell you something, man. I'm gonna tell you something, dude. If the yeah, it's just I I haven't even posted on like Instagram in I don't know how long. Was it January? Back when I finished the shiny Pokemon drawing? Because I realized that it wasn't really yielding any results for me. Like if like I have some friends who when they post something, it'll result in some kind of action. It'll result in like an online sale, or they'll instantly get a commission or something every time they post, right? It wasn't yielding anything for me. So that's why I stopped. If it did yield something for me, I would probably be all about that influencer whatever life, because you know it's just a way to drive eyeballs to your work. Yeah. Anyway, there's so many moving parts to this. You see how goofy all of this is? So now I'm in a place where I just want to draw, man. I just want to draw. So that's why I haven't been posting on social media. I'll just turn on the camera to stream every now and then. Other than that, I'm just drawing on my own time, doing my own projects whenever I have time to do them. And I've been at home a lot more, so I don't have to travel all the time. So I think this is the happiest I've been with this. This is the happiest I've been in regards to like my particular workload. I do miss the convention money, but conventions ain't what they used to be. So I don't even think that convention money's there anymore. What about the artists network or artist friend group that you made over the years, and how has that helped you? Um, yeah. I have picked up quite a bit of work through word of mouth. People you meet at conventions, other artists who you table with. As you go to a lot of shows, you start recognizing people. I have found that I have not been able to build a stable relationship with people through the internet. Um, of course, there's like people who recognize me because my old vlogs. That's where most people know me from. Um, but that has only been like that's been nice to converse with people and just talk about art, kind of how we're talking about it now. But in regards to business, it has never resulted into anything. All of the like work that has been a result of me knowing people have been through people who I've met in real life. So, like if I meet someone who, oh, like I'll give a couple examples. So one example is I was at Anime Expo and I had some traditional art and I was gonna say on the field, on the table, and a Copic representative came by, and that's what started my relationship with Copic Marker at the time. I don't really do work with them anymore, but the time I had with Copic Marker came from that. Working on trading card games artwork, which is all NDA, so I can't show that stuff right now. That's a result from word of mouth from someone who knew me from a convention, who had a buddy who wanted to work on cards, who needed someone to work on cards. So like the whole networking and all that for me has only been from people who I've met in real life. I've never become like buddy buddy with people on the internet and then asked for something. You know. Okay, refill this. Let's refill this pen, and then let's go ahead and finish this up. Yeah, I would say a majority of the people who know me, who I didn't meet in real life, know me from my videos, my old YouTube videos. though from a business like job per angle, that has never actually resulted in, more work. But it's been nice to talk to people. Which platform were you really pushing at the time when you were doing the whole influencer thing? Ah, okay. Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, dude. I'm staying on top of them now. And they're both going to the same address. Let me rephrase that. They're both go like both of them are should be sent together to the provided address. Okay. Cuz sometimes I have people who order stuff and they're just like, "All right, I want to order whatever." And then they're like two of them have to go here and one of them has to go here. I'm like, "Dude, that's two different orders then. Why are you putting this all in one order?" Like fucking, go to McDonald's and be like, "All right, I'm gonna get this one in the drive-through. That one I'm gonna eat in, and this one we're gonna take to go." uh, Instagram and YouTube. Okay, what were you? I'm just picking your brain here. Like, what were you doing on YouTube? I don't get to brainstorm with people anymore, so that's why I'm very interested, fascinated. Like you're new in there, you're hungry, so I'm always curious. Like, what were you doing on YouTube? Like, I stopped making vlogs because I had nothing left to say. I think if my YouTube was bringing in good revenue, then I would have continued doing it regardless. Honestly, I would have just kept on making the same bland, repetitive videos, even though you, I've already said everything I had to say. I would have kept doing it even as long if it was bringing in money, but it wasn't, so I stopped. If I had something interesting to say, I'll make another one. So caught up with doing realistic portraits, time lapse, and vlogs home during COVID. Ah, oh Black Mist, I appreciate it. If there's one thing on YouTube that just does not work anymore like it used to, it's time lapse art. Like, goddamn, that is like, you think that would be the most like that should be the most like universal type of art video, right? A time lapse video of some of something of you just creating. You think that should be like the baseline. That is the one thing that absolutely does not fucking work anymore on any social media. People don't have the attention spans to sit there and watch you draw, man. Like, it's crazy. They don't have the patience to sit there and watch you paint. You know what I mean? Like, you have to. It has to be in a short. It's got to be like a minute at the most. You got to be speaking in there, and you have to use a text generator, um, so that like every time you speak, letters as you speak. That's the only way. Like, you could not just be like, "Well, here's a drawing I made. Or here's a time lapse. The real thing took about 10 hours. I've sped it up to about a minute. Enjoy. Have some music. They'll click off the moment you stop talking. Gone. The, yes, yes. Everything about, we can't say nothing's universal, but yes, I'm in agreement that most people are looking for a person to follow and not art. There are a few people who are, pre-established, who are going to get a lot of views no matter what, regardless of their personality. But for the most part, like, people need to be into you now as like an artist or a person, or at least the idea of you, the concept of you that you put across to them. They want to follow that, and then if they like you, they'll follow your artwork. Because if you got some banging artwork and they're just like, this person has no soul, this person has no personality, I'm gonna dip. Oh, there's this funny chick who draws ladybugs. I'm gonna follow her instead. I have $20 a month to spend to contribute to somebody's Patreon. I'm gonna go over to the ladybug girl. That's what they're gonna do. Yeah, so yeah, there's a lot of stuff to take into consideration if that's the influencer, like that's the direction you want to go. There's a lot of stuff to take into consideration that you have to be all those things. You know what people like to see? People like to see the struggle. People like to see artists on the come up. They like to see artists who, it's weird, from from what I've seen in my time, uh, you know, my decade or whatever, how long I've been in. What I've noticed is hold on, people like to follow artists who are already at the top, like the Ross Draws and stuff, or the Sam does art. They like to follow the people who are like peak, or they like to follow people who are just like in the rough, just getting started, grinding. They don't care about the people who got the art day job. It's just a funny. So anyway, my point of that is, if you are just kind of building it back up and getting into it again, I think for you, Addy, you would be in a good position to maybe start vlogging that again. Are you familiar with based art? All right, so this is my boy. This is my buddy. Um, he does weekly vlogs, and he'll just vlog kind of anything that he does with his art. Sometimes he has a convention that he's prepping for. It doesn't really matter. It's just kind of anything, and he is making sure that he is framing it in a way where he's framing it in a way where he's just like on the come up, where every video, and it might just be how he feels, so that's why how it comes across in the video, but his videos always comes across as just like, I'm just getting started. I'm just learning. Like I'm grinding right now. I'm starting from the bottom, and people are really really into it. And he's been growing a lot, and he's getting a lot of people, supporting him. Um, Dude has almost 1 million followers on TikTok like 7 years ago. I was like, bro, but it's how he's framing it and how he feels. So my point of all of this is, if you decide to go back the vlog route, if you make sure you frame it in that way, where you can frame it in a way where you're saying, I am balancing, this full time gig that I have. And you give them a little bit of backstory. Yeah, I was doing this. I had to take a break because I wanted to see what life had to offer, and now I'm coming back. And now AI is here and everything's a shit show. Like, like if you frame it that way, I think that would kind of be the best way to approach it if you decide to go back that way. Um, that's how this artist started out. Yeah, that's how this artist started out. Very, very, very starting in the dirt. That's how they started out. And now people like just watching her process of how she's specifically doing stuff. But anyway, my point is, most of the intrigue that people have is for people who are just trying to figure things out. So anyway, my general point is, if you decide to go, um, hey, thanks for the follow. Yeah, my One Punch Man gifts have there's sound effects to them, but I don't know why that's not coming through. I have like Mega Man X sound effects attached to them, but for some reason they don't come through. The video does, the audio doesn't. Um, so anyway, just to round it back around, Addy, if you decide you want to go back making vlogs, or you're trying to do the whole freelance thing, or you want people to invest in you, there is a big market for, like, there's a lot of attention that people want to, that there's a lot of attention to be had for people who are looking to invest in artists who are kind of on the come up. People love hearing stories about, oh, I have 3 kids and I'm trying to get back into art and have a full-time job. Like, the more struggle it is, the more interested people are. So however you want to spin that, you know what I'm saying? It's very necessary. Marketing yourself is a skill, or have the money to pay someone to market you. those are the, yeah, you gotta worry about those things. Yeah. Anyway, I think you're in a good position. You have a full time gig. You have a good head on your shoulders. You've tried it once before. You're coming back to it. You know, if you wanted to go that route, I think you are in a good position to, because you wouldn't even have to fake it. A lot of people fake shit. You wouldn't even have to fake it. You could just be like, yeah, this is actually what's going on with me right now. Um, do a weekly vlog of, like, I'm just throwing out examples. You could be like, well, I was doing realistic paintings. Here's some examples of that. I still get some of those, but I'm trying to learn this. Maybe show people a book or something that you've been reading, like an art book that you've been studying. Fucking anything. If you look at base videos, he talks about everything. He just vlogs everything. People love it. I mean, it has to be art related, but he made like a whole video. He made a whole video about trying to figure out how to get his sticker machine going. But people love it. I hate to say it, but it is wishful thinking. But you know what? If you are looking to get like studio work, It's funny because if you're looking to get like studio work, or like when I have a lot of NDA contract stuff, I've done some video game art, some trading card game art. They only care about what you could do. They only care about what you could perform, right? So I guess it's like that in any field where it's like if you want to be a gun for hire like I am, you just need to make sure that that gun can shoot, right? But if you want people to be invested in like you as an artist, it can't just be your art anymore. It's evolved to this point where you have to offer. I'd argue that you wouldn't even have to offer good art. I argue if you have a personality that people like and you're good at marketing, your artwork could be shit. I'm not gonna drop a name because I don't think that's cool. But all I'm saying is, I I'm not gonna drop a name. I have an artist friend who I'm just gonna say it straight up, horrible on a technical level, horrible on a technical level, and they know it, and they have no interest in getting better, and they have no incentive to get better because the way they've marketed themselves on social is so good. They're doing like, last I checked in on them was last year. They did $150,000 in a 12-month period. That's a combination of online sales and conventions, right? And they did that. Trash art. I swear to God, man. And they have no incentive to get better, right? So it's also that thing, you gotta think about it. Like, let's say you do get to that point where you're really popular. There's a part of me that would not really want to be popular for having mediocre work. But that's just me because I'm a snob. But it's a funny world. You can't really predict what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to pop off. You don't know what's going to make you popular. Oh, thank you for the sub. Appreciate it. So anyway, last round of questions because I have to go take care of some stuff. I think my wife's mad at me. uh, so yeah, if anyone has any questions or anything, I'll hang out for a couple of minutes. Or if there's a topic, throw them at me. And then I have to go. I'm gonna clean up the line work here off stream. I have this recorded though, so I'll make a time lapse of that. And then I have to go drop stuff off at like the post office and all that. So already invested in you. Don't even need to draw. Just keep talking. That's what I'm saying. If I just sat here right now, didn't even draw, our views would be the same as if I was drawing something new. That's just how it is now. That's just what social media has evolved into. Um, yeah. Anyway, I do appreciate all the follows and the subs, especially on the Twitch, the YouTube, but especially the TikTok. You're all over there in the TikTok. I appreciate that. Um, oh, I appreciate that. And if you have any questions, you could always just hit me up. But yeah, I wish I could give better examples, but like my brain's all fried and I'm all distracted right now. But yeah, if you want to check out more so Based videos than Mulcana's. Like Mulcana's cool, but she's very business oriented. I like what Based is doing. That's my boy. We roomed together for a convention back in 2019, and we got into a car accident. So we're like this. No, I'm just kidding. So, yeah, if you have any questions, you can just hit me up, or if you need advice on something, I'll see what I can do. But all right, everybody, thank you for hanging out. I'm gonna go to the other room, and my wife's gonna yell at me for something.